Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm George Schlackegg.
The one and only.
Little over a week ago, I posted a video about the Edmonton LRT and the abuse that is taking place in the LRT stations and trains. The response was overwhelming, to put it mildly. First, I'd like to thank all of you for watching and commenting. It seems that many of you take this issue very seriously. My videos usually get 200 or so views on a good initial day. This one got about 7,000, and this kind of response wasn't expected. Now, while I appreciate all feedback, encouraging or critical, I can tell by some of the responses that people didn't watch the entire video. But I'd like to respond to some of the comments that were not so sympathetic. Before I do, some of them have been deleted by YouTube already, so I'm just using my memory for getting at the essence of it. Someone called me a horrible person for filming a woman while she was crying. Another person told me I was lacking compassion on taking advantage of people who are down. I have the feeling that the people who left those comments didn't watch much of the video besides those scenes that upset them. While I have compassion for people who are down on their luck and struggle with addictions, it should not mean they get a free pass when behaving erratically in public. We all share those places, and it's essential that they are safe for anyone who needs to pass them, to use the LRT for example. My intention with this video was to draw attention to a growing problem. I happen to love the LRT as a means of transportation and find it disturbing when security on the system is at a point where many people don't want to use it anymore. That was my point for making this video. It is frustrating when you're trying to complain about the conditions by calling 311 only to get redirected to a voicemail box, which happened to me at least twice in recent weeks. It was this kind of response that inspired the decision to use my YouTube channel in order to raise awareness. Regarding the woman crying, well, first of all, she wasn't crying but yelling profanities to the point where people were avoiding coming near her before they even saw her. If you watch the entire scene, you will know what led up to it. I was on a mission to witness abusive behavior, so I walked up that way with my camera rolling. I had no idea who was in that stairwell, and it seemed risky to go that way, which should never be the case in a public place. As for the clip, it was taken with a super wide-angle camera from a normal distance that is inevitable when passing by someone in a stairwell. This camera has no zoom. The effect in the video is only a crop, and it's blurry. That leads me to some other comments that urged me to blur people's faces in the video. 3 points about this. Number one, the faces are already blurry as they are. Number two, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy in public places. We all have a right to be there, with or without a rolling camera. And number three, the video shows indoor public places. We are currently in a public health emergency where everyone is required to wear a mask when in such a place. If you violate that rule, it shows a lack of responsibility on your part, which is also something I witness frequently on the LRT. Disregarding this rule puts us all at greater risk, and this too seemed important to capture. By tolerating this kind of behavior, we are basically enabling it, which will most certainly escalate it. Well, this is an assumption, right? Someone on Facebook left a comment that was very vague, but the person who made it apparently works for their local press, so I took it seriously. Here are the exact words. I remember this one time I made a video and drew some sweeping conclusions to get attention. Yeah, I made this video to draw attention to a situation I find unacceptable. Apparently, I'm not alone, so perhaps it was a good move. Sweeping conclusions. I would have liked this person to explain that better, but admit that there are a few assumptions in this video. One of them is that the Alberta government is ignoring the problem. Fair enough. I decided to go on the government website and read up on their strategy in dealing with the opioid crisis. It is interesting that the latest updates on that page are from 2018, and the Minister's Opioid Emergency Response Commission has been archived. You can see for yourself. Link in the description. Other comments I got was that this was really all about homelessness and poverty, not the LRT. Well, to me, it was about the LRT, but I can see the point, because there are root causes for what's happening to the LRT. However, I'm not sure it's homelessness and poverty. We have an opioid crisis. We don't really get to know who's homeless or even poor. Many of those who use opioids may have a home, but if they share it with others, they will most likely not be allowed to use the hard drugs in their home. Some of them may actually be minors, full of potential that is quickly evaporating in a deadly spiral. Okay, I'm in this over my head. I'm not qualified to advise about how to solve an opioid crisis or help those inflicted. Nor am I an expert on security in public places, more specifically train stations. But I am a resident of Edmonton and love the city. There are about 1 million of us, and we're all contributing in some way. Let's urge those who hold public office to act in our best interest. A safe LRT is in our best interest, especially when we are collectively financing a major expansion of this system. This video is about the LRT. What I care about deeply is that we have choices for our transportation needs that are sustainable. More and more cars are not it. Let's make sure the LRT is such an option and that it is safe for everyone to use. I'll end this video now. Please let me know if I said something you find offensive or factually wrong. I make mistakes, but don't think that raising awareness of the state of our LRT was one of them. Just imagine the proposed Hyperloop train that may eventually connect Edmonton and Calgary and then take the LRT. Not the same thing? Really? We need to deal with some issues. I hope that my video will ultimately help to get positive changes underway. I'd like to see a good outcome for everyone involved, whether they're commuters looking for safe transportation across town or drug addicts caught up in a vicious cycle. The status quo is not acceptable. Unfortunately, the news media isn't reporting about this, so for the time being, don't send your kids to ride the train, and be careful when you have to. Drug addicts are not harmless. They call them mood-altering substances for a reason. All drug addicts are not homeless, and homelessness doesn't automatically mean drug addictions. I have no problems with homeless people riding the LRT. I have a problem with people being intoxicated, acting erratically, and using illegal drugs while they do. Enough said. Have a great day, everyone.